Hi guys and welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about the histology of the small intestine, and now you have a broad idea and a lot of information actually about the GIT, and this video is going to be very simple now because you've learned everything in the previous one. We're just going to see more pictures and we're going to know how to identify between different parts of the small intestine, and you know them, they are the duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. And now into more details about the small intestine itself. Now, generally talking, let me skip this and show you low magnification first. Yeah. So if you guys remember that we have the submucosal folds that gives you the plica circularis. All right. So the if you look at the core of the huge thing, it's gonna be the submucosa here. This is in the core, all right? And then you have another kind of adaptation, which is when the mucosa itself falls to give you the villi. It means now you are in the small intestine, all right? And the core of your villi is lamina propria, because remember, the villi are mucosal folds. So the core is lamina propria. But the plica circularis are submucosal folds. So your core is going to be submucosa. And of course, you have the muscularis and serosa. I'm not going to talk about these things. I need to put more emphasis on the mucosa and submucosa because they are very important and they have important information on how to identify that organ and how do they work. Actually, this is your duodenum, the C-shaped duodenum that wraps around the head of pancreas, and these are the villi, and your core is actually your lamina propria. Your core is very, very, very important in the small intestine because you guys know that the absorption of fat takes place in the small intestine. And if we go back into a higher magnification and you look at the vellus, you guys gonna see that in the core of the vellus you have your lamina propria and you have your lacteal inside, and lacteal is actually the blood, the lymphatic vessel that is going to actually absorb the fat. So what's gonna basically happen is you guys know that your lining epithelium is hold on, it's your lining epithelium. All right, this is your columnar cell. Okay, this is the nucleus, and what happens is during digestion you have your fatty acids. Your fatty acid is actually coming here and it comes in to your columnar cell. It gets in, all right, and by the Golgi it actually forms the chylomicrons. So that was the fatty acids of your fat, and here by Golgi you're going to convert it into the chylomicrons, and the chylomicrons are going to come out of the columnar cell. Can you guys see the columnar cells, or these columnar cells with the microvilli? This is your lining epithelium. All these are your columnar cells. Okay, and once you get it formed, the chylomicrons, it's gonna come to your, of course, here you have your blood vessel, all right, and here you have your lacteal down here. So it's gonna take up this into here, and the chylomicrons are going to come to the lacteal to get absorbed in the lymph, all right? So inside the lymph of the lacteal, you are going to absorb your chylomicrons, and that is the way you transport it to your circulation. All right, so it's very important information, you know it, that your lacteals are this lymph vessel that is in the core of the lamina propria, in the mucosal fold itself, in the vellus. Remember, I'm giving you this information because I want to be repetitious in that. I want you to understand that this is a mucosal fold with the core of lamina propria. It's the connective tissue that supports your lining epithelium, and this is a vellus. So you are here in the small intestine, and that happens in the whole small intestine. Now, how can I say that this is duodenum, not jejunum or ileum? Let me take you to the next picture and come back. If you guys look at the submucosa, remember what I said in the introduction video? Remember that I told you guys, if you have submucosal glands filling up your submucosa, you are either in the esophagus, which is totally different from here, and you guys know how to differentiate between it and between the small intestine, or you are in the duodenum. So if you guys see this and that, the submucosal glands, this is definitely the duodenum. Okay. And back to this, I have important cells in the small intestine. Of course, we do have enteroendocrine cells again, because remember that we need to communicate with the different parts. And we have it in the stomach, in the small intestine, and so on. But what I want to mention here is that we have the Paneth cells. And these Paneth cells are there in the small intestine, and they are acidophilic, and they are secreting antimicrobial peptides important for immunity. All right, so here we move on to the next part of the small intestine. Here again, I have the same thing in a normal histological section, which is actually the villi with a core of connective tissue, and I have something here which is my lacteal to absorb the fat, the chylomicrons of the fat, and to the lymphatic system. And here I have my submucosa filled with glands, a lot of glands. Can you guys see the glands here in the submucosa? So this is definitely a duodenum. Okay, now this is another nice picture. Remember when I told you in the previous video I wasn't quite happy with the gastroduodenal junction? Here, if you see this, this is a perfect picture for the villi. If you guys see this and see the stomach in the other part of the picture, that is the gastroduodenal junction. And sorry, pyloroduodenal, we call it. It's okay, or even gastro is fine. The pyloroduodenal junction, but that would be a great picture to ask you about the pyloroduodenal junction. You get to see the villi, the mucosal folds, and of course this circle here, this is a submucosal fold here. If I tell you about this folding, this is a plica circularis, or the valves of Kerckering. But if I show villi, these are mucosal folds with a core of connective tissue lamina propria. And then I have glands in the submucosa. This is definitely duodenum. Okay, again, this is a higher magnification. Very nice picture. Okay, and moving on to the jejunum. Now, I'm not going to repeat everything because the general idea is the same. I just want to tell you, if you guys look at your submucosa, it does not have glands. So this is not duodenum. This is jejunum. But why it's not ileum? Because in ileum, we have, this is another one for the jejunum. In the ileum, we have lymphatic nodules. We have a lot of lymphatic nodules. This is what we call the Peyer's patches. We say it Peyer's patches, but we write it with an E, not A. So if you guys look at a histological section and you can see the villi, you know that you're in the small intestine. And then the next step is you have to look at the submucosa. Following everything in the mucosal folds here is your submucosa. If you see lymphatic nodules, this is ileum. If you find submucosal glands, this is duodenum. If you don't find anything, this is jejunum. All right? So I hope you guys know how to differentiate between them. If you guys look at these folds, themselves, the big folds, these are the submucosal folds. These are your plica circularis, or these are the folds that you can see them in gross anatomy as well. But the mucosa, and the core of them is the submucosa, okay? But the villi again are the mucosal folds with a core of lamina propria, and your lacteal is in the center. You know now how to differentiate between them. You know now how to identify them, and you know the function of them. And you guys, if you look, you will find the submucosa is very thin in jejunum, very thin, because it neither has glands like the duodenum, nor it has Peyer's patches, the lymphatic nodules for immunity, which is there in the ileum. Okay, so it's very easily identifiable. Now look at this nice comparison. Here is another one showing you the plica circularis, or the big submucosal folds, and these are villi. Remember when I told you I wasn't happy again with the previous video? Here they are very nice pictures showing you these villi. And if you get to see lymphatic nodules, these purple circles in the submucosa, this is going to be definitely your ileum. Okay, a lot of lymphatic. So if you guys know how to differentiate between the different types, if first of all you look at the villi, you know you are in the small intestine. Second of all, you look at the submucosal layer. If you get to see glands, they are losing their content because they are mucosal glands and they have mucus secretion, so they look like flowers or cells that are losing their content, empty content here. Okay, because here there was mucus and we lost it during preparation. This is duodenum. If you look and find a very thin submucosa without anything other than the basic components of any submucosa of any connective tissue, this is going to be your jejunum. And if you see the Peyer's patches, it means these are the ileum. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you know now how to differentiate between the different parts of the small intestine, and see you in the next video with the large intestine.